from readers, writers, publishers, and the entire book world. Get some interesting reviews, events, interviews, and latest updates from the book world. The channel's book club, inspiring you one page at a time.
Well, I'm sure you can tell I could not take all the debate here. You can get online and follow the debate. Just type in hashtag part-time legislature and see how the discussion unfolded. You can also go to @Gavel Abuja or @LLSISI to see other contributions and also join in the debate. Now, I know this is not the end of this debate, and I'll be bringing it to you as it unfolds. Like someone said earlier, let's keep this issue on the table and really concentrate on it. We may just achieve what we really want, a lower cost of governance in the country. Till next week, I'm Lanre Lasese. Bye.
Menopause is the permanent cessation of reproductive fertility sometime before the end of the natural lifespan. The term was originally used to describe this reproductive change in human females, where the end of fertility was traditionally indicated by the permanent stopping of menses. Menopause usually happens more or less in midlife, signaling the end of the fertile phase of a woman's life. It is perhaps most easily understood as the opposite process to the start of the monthly periods. However, menopause in women cannot satisfactorily be defined simply as the permanent stopping of the monthly periods, because in reality what is happening to the uterus is quite secondary to the process. It is what is happening to the ovaries that is the crucial factor. Menopause is based on natural or surgical cessation of hormone production by the ovaries, which are part of the body's endocrine system of hormone production. In this case, the hormones which make reproduction possible and can influence sexual behavior. The resultant decreased levels of circulating estrogen impact the entire woman's reproductive functioning, from brain to skin. The transition itself can be challenging for a number of women, but for others it's not difficult. Signs and effects of the menopause transition can begin as early as age 35, although most women who become aware of the transition do so about 10 years later, often in their mid to late 40s. In the perimenopause years, many women undergo bodily changes resulting from hormonal fluctuations. The most well-known effect of menopause is the hot flash, a sudden increase in body temperature as it peaks and begins a rapid return to normal. Hot flashes can become so strong that they can raise the body temperature multiple degrees in a very short period of time and cause the sufferers to feel weak and break out in heavy sweating. Despite the discomfort to women, hot flashes are not considered harmful by physicians. A woman's reproductive hormone levels continue to drop and fluctuate for some time into postmenopause, so any hormone withdrawal symptom that a woman may be experiencing do not necessarily stop right away, but may take quite some time, even several years, to disappear completely. Any period-like flow that might occur during postmenopause, even just spotting, may be reported to a doctor. The cause may in fact be minor, but the possibility of endometrial cancer must be checked for and eliminated.
Thanks for joining us again. Welcome to News Track on Channels Television. I'm Charles Aruka.
And I am Adeshewa Josh. These are the top stories at this hour. The Supreme Court has affirmed the election of Olusegun Mimiko as the validly elected governor of Ondo State.
That's right. The Apex Court delivered judgment in two separate appeals by the former Action Congress of Nigeria candidate, Mr. Rotimi Akeredolu, and Mr. Olushola Oke of the People's Democratic Party, challenging the victory of Governor Mimiko.
Jubilation and shouts of joy ran to the air following the verdict of the court in the Ondo State governorship election. The justices of the court, led by Justice Walter Onogene, made good their promise to deliver judgment in the case 48 hours after hearing the parties in the case. Justice Mary Odili and Sylvester Nguta, who delivered judgment in both cases, agreed with both the tribunal and the appellate courts that the appeals could not substantiate claims of injection of names into the 2011 voters' register used for the Ondo State governorship election. The court also held that the names which were allegedly injected into the register were not presented to the court but were based on hearsay.
Supreme Court determined that the allegation of the injection of foreign names to the voters' register was not proved because the petitioners who raised the allegation were not able to establish that. And also that issue was not a pre-election matter, and they agree with the Court of Appeal on those courts too.
When you look at the judgment, we have established something that we did not have a credible election because all the courts, the three courts, admitted that there were injections, and that is 164,072 injections.
Reacting to his victory, Governor Olusegun Mimiko urged his opponent to sheath their swords and work with him for the development of the state.
It would have been another matter if this case had lapsed on technical ground, which we did not want. We really want judicial pronouncement on this case. So for us, it's a great day, it's a happy day. We thank God Almighty. Now that we have come to the end of it, I think they should bury all the different. Let us join hands together to move our state forward.
With this ruling, every opposition as to the validity of the election of Governor Olusegun Mimiko as the duly elected governor of Ondo State has been laid to rest. Amaka Okafor, Channels Television News.
Elsewhere, the Taraba State Governor Dambaba Suntai is reported to have finally addressed the people yesterday, exactly 4 days after his return from a 10-month medical sojourn abroad. The brief address was, however, not live, but through a video shown on the state-owned television station in Jalingo. Before that speech, the governor is reported to have met with the lawmakers and inaugurated the newly appointed secretary to the state government, Timothy Kataps, as well as the chief of staff, Malam Aminu Jika. The governor, who is recuperating from injuries he sustained, last October when a small aircraft he flew crashed.
Meanwhile, some members of the Taraba State House of Assembly have asked Governor Dambaba Suntai to return to the United States to continue his medical treatment. 16 out of the 24 members of the Assembly today resolved that the acting governor of the state, Garba Omar, should continue to serve the state in acting capacity until such a time the governor is capable of administering the state. In a 3-paragraph statement signed by the 16 members in Jalingo, the Taraba state capital, the 16 lawmakers maintained that having assessed the condition of the governors at Wednesday, August the 28th, they are not convinced that he wrote the purported letter transmitted to the House stating his ability to resume office. But in a swift reaction, Leader of the House, Mr. Albasu Kunini, in a telephone interview with